to TFA Talking Point. We are live today to talk about the traditional rulers in Cameroon. We presented a video very early in the morning today condemning one of their agenda that came out openly that they are going to Yaoundé for their general meeting to give their support to President Paul Biya for him to run for the upcoming presidential election. And many people are not happy with the traditional rulers in Cameroon. And finally, the meeting has ended and they have given their total support to President Paul Biya, supporting him for the upcoming presidential election as their own candidate. So we are asking the question whether these people are representing truly their villages, because I cannot explain and I cannot think. I don't think, and I think about it, and then it is not something we can appreciate or we are happy about it, because the very people we look up to represent us traditionally, we can say it openly that they have been bought, because they have a general meeting in Yaoundé concerning traditional rulers, but the meeting was being chaired by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Minister Atanganji. So the traditional rulers is seen as if the government invited them and gave them an agenda of to support President Paul Biya candidacy, and that is what they did. Because if the meeting truly was for traditional rulers, mainly for them to think or talk about what they have to do in order to help their villagers, it could have been chaired by their own president. But they say it was a meeting where they had to elect their executive. So if they had to elect an executive, I believe there could have been maybe an electoral board just within the traditional rulers, that they select some people that will conduct the elections, and then they will do it, and then the meeting will be chaired by those who will be conducting the election. Maybe there could have been something, not that it could have been, it was chaired by Mr. Atanganji. And Mr. Atanganji is the one now acting as the head of all traditional rulers, because he is the Minister of Territorial Administration. And the way the government has expanded the Ministry of Territorial Administration is just as if anything in Cameroon, religions, a non-governmental organization, a governance, divisional officer, a senior divisional officer, a traditional rulers, all of them are under the Ministry of Territorial Administration, because he is the one appointing traditional rulers in many places. He is the one classifying them in first class, second class, and third class citizens, traditional rulers. So I am so much disappointed with all the traditional rulers who were present there, all the traditional rulers who supported and gave their support for President Paul Biya to run for a 2025 presidential election. Very disappointed, one, because President Paul Biya for 42 years in power, as I mentioned in the previous video, there is no one traditional ruler who will stand up and say, my village is the best today because of President Paul Biya. There is something in my village that was given to us by President Paul Biya. Many villages in Cameroon do not have electricity. Many villages in Cameroon do not have drinkable water. Many villages in Cameroon do not have a road. They are not connected. There are villages that you cannot go there during the rainy season. There are villages today in Cameroon that when you go there, it is as if they pour powder on you, dust. There are villages in Cameroon that have never seen electricity with their naked eyes. But their traditional rulers are in Yaoundé, in Douala, in big city, now just behaving like politicians. And that is a problem. This is a problem, because these people, when it is hard with civilization, will run back to our tradition. But now the tradition has been bought by the government, because they are acting just like, if you see from CRTV, the way the traditional rulers were entering the conference hall in Yaoundé, there are just some kind of pride within them. It's more than the way they usually behave in their palaces. Many they are now coming out and going there, and there is no way, maybe I believe that one of them could have absent, because they want to show that now they are sitting before with minister. But in those days, minister will come and wait for the traditional ruler to come out. But now, in this day, even a divisional officer can take a phone and call a traditional ruler and say, I'm giving you 5 minutes to be in my office, and they will be. And this is a problem. They are now signing or having partnership with the government at the detriment of Cameroonians. And this is the main reason why I keep on holding that the main people frustrating Cameroonians are the traditional rulers, the elites, the politicians, top government officials, and businessmen, top businessmen and women in Cameroon. These are the people buying the vote of all Cameroonians, because they are all our relatives, and they are the one, because of poverty, they are the one helping us in our family. So when somebody that is paying your children's school fee tell you that you must vote a CPDM, if you don't vote CPDM, he will not pay your children's school fee. There is nothing you can do apart from voting the CPDM. Your traditional rulers now coming back and calling you all into the palace and say, all of you have to vote President Paul Biya because we gather in Yaoundé and say President Paul Biya is our candidate. Will you refuse? And then if you threaten and say you are going to another party, you want to show yourself that they can create any motive, anything, and say that you are against the tradition and ban you out of the village and send you on exile. And many people are afraid of this because of the kind of respect we have for our traditional rulers, for Kwefo. Many people will be afraid to think or to even do anything against the traditional rulers. But the traditional rulers are the ones selling us out to President Paul Biya. They gave him the power in which, according to tradition, he was not supposed to have any power in name, the form of forms, up to the point where they are fighting. That they gave it to Samuel Eto'o, in which they did not give anything to Samuel Eto'o. Just because they want to show to President Paul Biya that they are fighting more than the other traditional rulers, so that Atangaji will promote them to first-class traditional rulers or second class. That is what they were doing that, and that is exactly what they are doing. All of them coming struggle by opposite women to sit at the front line so that they will take pictures, and Paul Biya will say, no, these people are, and Atangaji now will promote them. I'm asking the question, when did our traditional rulers start fighting for position, fighting for promotion within the government? All traditional rulers in Cameroon are unique because they have their different villages and their authority is limited in their village. Not that you have to be fighting promotion and you spend your time in Yaoundé, spend your time from one government office to another. Is it the tradition we saw from our first parents, fathers? No. I quite remember in my own village, one day we went there with one non-governmental organization. We were in the palace for more than 2 hours. And then the new divisional officer from DOP came to the village that very market day to see the late phone of Bambala. And he was out there for more than 45 minutes, waiting for the phone to come out. That respect. But today, they are calling traditional rulers. Meet me in my office in 2 minutes, and they will be running. Because if you don't run, meet on that time, they will write a report to Mr. Atangaji, and Mr. Atangaji will write a report to President Paul Biya, and you will be demoted to second class or third class traditional ruler, or you'll be promoted to first class, that you respected divisional officer, you respected this, you will be promoted to first class traditional ruler. It is a shame to all of us. This is a disgrace to our tradition. And what can we do? Because the government has successfully penetrated right into the heart of our tradition. And they are manipulating and they are using it against us. Presently in Cameroon, all traditional rulers are on salary. Every month they have to line up, check their bank account, whether the government have dropped. If they have not dropped, they have to humble themselves and go from one office to another, asking why my salary have not come. And President Paul Biya is very good in doing this. And then after fighting for that salary, now they will be looking for allowance. Because when you are promoted to first class traditional rulers, you have allowance because some traditional rulers are under you. You now have some power. And this is what all of them are fighting for. They went for meeting in Yaoundé, that is a conference for all traditional rulers, whether it's the National Council for Traditional Rulers in Cameroon. They gather all together, but the meeting was being chaired by somebody who is not a traditional ruler. Mr. Atangaji was the chairperson of the meeting. He opened it and he closed the meeting. then will you tell me that it was for traditional rulers? I will say no. It was not for traditional rulers. They called them so that they can gather together and give their support for President Paul Biya. And they have given it. And President Paul Biya maybe will run for, because he has not said anything. Very soon he come and say, a Cameroonian call, I wanted to go on retirement, but Cameroonian keep on calling me back. Nobody in Cameroon is asking President Paul Biya to run for any presidential election. Only those who are benefiting from the system, the traditional rulers, the politicians, the elite, the top businessmen. These are the people. All Cameroonians are against President Paul Biya. Move around the street in Cameroon and ask. It's just that these people are coming back home now, blackmailing us. If you do not vote the person who promoted me, I am not going to pay your children's school fee. I'm not going to help you with this. I'm not going, because they created poverty and they are using the poverty now against us. It is terrible, and there is nothing we can do if the CPDM remain in power. And how can we remove the CPDM power in which there is no opposition party ready to take over? I make a video one time, and then I say I prefer a civilian coup d'etat. Even on Equinox TV, I say it that I prefer a civilian coup d'etat. I don't know how it can happen. Whether we will create a different, or we will go to the original presidency of Cameroon, which is in Buya. It's still there. The building is still there that the Germans used as the presidency of Cameroon. Whether we will go there and declare our own presidency and be ruling, let them have their own. Let 95% Cameroonians go under that and have their own president there, and let the 5% who are benefiting from the national cake have their own presidency at Itudi. I don't know, because many people pray for military to take over power, but all the military are already entangled in that, and all of them, President Paul Biya is blackmailing them, and there is nothing they can do. What can we do? I just wish to have your own at the comment section. What can we do to liberate ourselves from President Paul Biya, from traditional rulers, from elite, from top businessmen and women in Cameroon, from top government officials, from politicians? These are the people behind the misery, behind the hardship, behind all the trouble we are passing through in Cameroon. There are the people. President Paul Biya created all this. He went into all villages, selected rich people, selected influential people, selected any power mongers, selected money mongers, and gathered them and formed a government. And these people are blackmailing. The very thing they are doing is they are struggling by all possible means to keep all Cameroonians poor. Everybody in their own village poor. Keep all villages desperate. Anything in Cameroon, all Cameroonians always desperate for. And when they will give, they will celebrate, and they will always give it during toward election period. So that you people will celebrate, and in that celebration you vote. Then they will use blackmailing. If you don't vote, I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to pay your children's school fee. Your relative is telling you. Then there are times they will come back and say, now they have given us chance now. We have one person on top of the tree. He will be sending us something. And the person there is for himself. He will only return back to the village when it is time for election. And we will foolishly support again. It hurts so much that we are seeing our country this way. Only few people are benefiting. And these few people who are benefiting are taking the highest salary from the taxpayer money, from us. But they don't pay electric bills. They don't pay water bills. They don't pay rent. They don't put fuel in their vehicles. They don't even buy a vehicle. The government, any latest vehicle in the world, the government will go and buy and give them, choke to keep them. If you don't look at the lifestyle they are living, you will cry whether you are living or you are just existing. If they tell them that there are a bad route in Cameroon, like the Director General for National Security went to Limbe. On his way to Limbe, for the first time, he traveled by car and saw terrible route. Somebody who had been in power for more than 20 years was just suddenly discovered that the routes in Cameroon are not good. It hurts so much. It hurts so much that we are living in this kind of, under this kind of leadership. President Paul Biya, 92 years old. I keep on holding on to this because if you study psychology, you will know that people from 80 years above, they have the same mentality with children below 5 years. Are we going to allow somebody to be ruling us at with that kind of mentality? Because if we allow President Paul Biya, it is equals to choosing a child, 5 years old child, to govern us as a president. The traditional rulers who are representing us are now looking and holding, supporting 92 years old man to lead us. May God help us. I just saw the news finally that they decided to support President Paul Biya, and then I decided to make this live video. I'm thanking you for staying up to this point. TFA Talking Point is just proposing solution and taking from people their own proposal that are the best on how to help ourselves through this situation, the problem plaguing our country. And you people are doing the best. Many comments contributed to the book I wrote titled Positive Mentality for the Cameroon We Want. And one day, we'll be liberated. Thank you.